problem is the machine has 150 million ways of doing it. We must break the ENIGMA code.
Welcome to Bluebell Hill Studios. I'm Clay Bennett, the head engineer here.
And I'm Barny Barnicott, owner and mixer.
And today we're diving into the Cranborne Audio Bricklane 500, a flexible compressor with a unique feature called ENIGMA mode. So
here in the studio, we've got access to some amazing compressors. Mainly, we've got the G-Series SSL, which is an E-Series compressor, and we've got the UREI 1176. So we're going to be using both of those to AB with the Cranborne Bricklane.
And so we'll be diving into ENIGMA mode to do this, matching the character, the compression characteristics, tone, and effectively seeing how close we can get.
So the SSL is obviously a standard in making music, and you can kind of hear that compression through decades of music. And the thing about the SSL compressors, the unique thing about them, they're pretty brutal, they're pretty unforgiving and aggressive, but they do something to the sound that holds it together so brilliantly and brings it forward, and everyone calls it the glue, and it kind of does do that. It kind of just like, it sticks everything together, and it's not polite, it's not smooth, it's just kind of like, it's how you want, it does the stuff that you want music to do, basically.
Whereas the vintage UREI 1176, well, it's the sound of most vocals, it's the sound of most smashed drums, and it's got that, typical sound of everything being crushed and crunchy and, like soft snow being pushed down. It's got that natural feeling, yet extremely
aggressive.
Tight. Yeah, aggressive and together sound. So we've got a track called Who's to Say by Sin Plus loaded up in our session right now. And so we're just going to play back the vocal through the 1176 and compare it to our Bricklane stock, no ENIGMA mode, just exactly how it comes out the box. So here's our
1176.
Yeah.
So we've got that pretty slammed on there. And that's kind of how I would have it.
Yeah,
this kind of track.
Nice distorted front.
And it is very middly. So a little bit of distortion. It's not overly bright either. It doesn't do anything to the top end. If anything, it takes it out a little bit. So we flip to the Bricklanes, and like it's less aggressive. It's a bit brighter.
Yeah.
It's not holding it together in a gnarly way. It's open. And that, like, it almost sounds like it's been filtered a bit.
Yeah,
it almost sounds like so you put the top and the bottom on the filter, and it's just like, it's just all middle.
Yeah.
And then for this kind of track, which is quite an aggressive track, I think that's what you would want from this.
Absolutely.
And so that obviously the Bricklane is sounding at the moment, because it's stock setting, just really polite. So we need to go into that to adjust it to have that distortion and gnarliness and having that sound like the 1176. It makes it so much easier to like sit in a mix. You don't want the vocal to take up all that space and all that time. You want in a sort of rock track like this, it needs to be just solid. So that's what we need to do.
I've just noticed as well, we've got the stress down. So if we turn that up, it should have a little bit more of that 1176 character, but I don't reckon we'll get there just yet. So if we just
go on in.
So here's with the stress down. And here it's in. And then switch to the 11.
Yeah. You still need to go a lot further.
Yeah, it needs to go a lot further, but it's having a bit more of that character for sure.
A bit more exciting.
So let's now jump into ENIGMA mode. So the first thing we're going to adjust on our ENIGMA mode on here is on the left page, we're going to adjust our diode hardness and our high-end emphasis, I reckon, because we want it to be diode hardness because we want it to be a little bit more aggressive. We want it to be a little bit smashier and sound a little less posh, I would say.
A bit more middly as well, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. And then the high-end emphasis we need to use because we were noticing that the Bricklane's a little bit, a bit more pristine in that high end, whereas, as that you were saying, that middly sound in the 1176.
Yeah, they're older units, they don't have that kind of clarity.
Exactly.
I'm crazy, but no one doesn't feel like someone else. Well, maybe we're all just wandering around at better days. Who's to say? Who's to say? Better days. Who's to say? Who's to say? Well, I'm crazy, but no one doesn't feel like someone else. Well, maybe we're all just wandering around at better days. Who's to say? Who's to say? Better days.
Now go between them.
Okay, so that's the diode, is it? What are you doing
Yeah,
there?
I've done the diode hardness
Right.
and a de-emphasis on the
Right.
high end.
Well, I'm crazy, but no one doesn't feel like someone else.
It's getting a little bit of the character, but it's not.
It's
That's
pretty
much more
close.
immediate.
It's really close. Especially you can hear it on the S's.
Yeah.
Because this is really good with S's.
Yeah.
It doesn't make them high and it kind of holds them in a bit. And that's doing the same thing, isn't it?
Yeah. I'd say let's make that knee a little bit harder so it's more instant.
Yeah, okay, go on then.
So it's still a bit soft.
Yeah.
So that's on the right hand side.
Well, I'm crazy, but no one doesn't feel like someone else. Well, maybe we're all just wandering around at better days. Who's to say? Who's to say?
That's kind of got it instantly.
Better days.
Right,
Who's
so
to say?
let's
Who's
apply
to
that.
say?
Out. Okay.
Well, I'm crazy,
So now,
but no
maybe.
one doesn't feel like someone else. Well, maybe we're all just wandering around at better days. Who's to say? Who's to say? Better days. Who's to say? Who's to say?
I think it needs more of that kind of that middly stuff. It might even be a little bit more threshold fit into it.
Yeah,
something like that. It's really close, isn't it?
Maybe we're all just. Well, I'm crazy,
That's better.
but no one doesn't
Yeah,
feel
that's it.
like someone else. Well, maybe we're all just wandering around.
I mean,
at better days.
that sounds like an M76 to me. I mean, if you A/B'd that to me, I wouldn't know at all.
Who's to say?
Well, it's got that sound that you would go, okay, that's the 1176 on the vocal.
Yeah. But no one doesn't feel like
What it does
someone
have is
else.
it is letting through a
Maybe
bit more of
we're
the
all just wandering around
the
at
low
better
end, which I think is nice.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Because that does, like the SSL, it does take out a lot of low end, which is kind of the character of it, as well as that. But,
Yeah.
But I think that's a positive.
Yes.
You know, if I could change that and that,
I mean, it's
to be more like the Brick Lane. But the important thing is that sort of the holding of it together.
yeah,
You know, for me, and so it doesn't feel like that. The vocal is sort of in three parts, or bass, top, middle. It feels like it's just like a tiny little ball that you can just pop into your mix, and it's not going to get in the way of anything else. It's tight.
yeah.
You know?
But it
again?
doesn't sound small, right?
Well, I'm crazy, but no one doesn't feel like
I can't hear the difference now. That's it. I'm done.
Well, maybe
I can't say any more.
Cool.
It is the same.
So now we're going to take the same track. We've got the bass and the drums, and that is feeding into our SSL channel strip compressors. I've got the Brick Lane set up at the moment so that they're on glue mode. Obviously, as you've got the SSL G-Comp, it's going to be fairly similar. It's still that VCA sort of thing. But I reckon we're going to be pretty far apart, as these compressors are pretty dirty, crunchy, aggressive. And so let's just see where we are at the moment. Cool. So
This is our stock
Yeah.
kind of.
these are our stock.
All right. Do you want to have an A/B? Have a listen to
Yeah,
what's going on?
just immediate. I want to adjust the, yeah.
All right. So we've got our SSL on quite a fast attack.
Yeah.
If you pull them up, that's what sort of makes them snappy. And they're probably doing about, well, it says about 10 dB. So that's sounding a bit polite at the moment.
Yeah, and
So we need
even
to
with the
match that.
stress, let's see what the stress does. So that's with stress all the way up.
Yeah.
Still just a bit
So
too
it's
transparent.
mainly the tail on the snare, which is what the SSLs are brilliant at. they bring everything forward. So it's lifting all the tails up, like a transient designer would do.
Yeah.
And so the brick lane isn't doing that at the moment. See how long that snare is, and the brick lane at the moment, it's quite short, and it's not holding it together. So that's what we need to do.
Cool. All right, so let's go into our Enigma settings now. Okay, so I think there's a couple of things we need to change here. First of all, what have you got your ratio on the SSL?
It's about 10, I think. Yeah.
10?
Yeah.
So if we go into right side Enigma, it's at 2 at the moment, so I will change that to 10. Cool. And then the knee is like pretty soft at the moment, so
not that hard.
Get that to its hardest.
Yeah.
Cool.
Right.
Right. And then let's exit that into left-hand side Enigma. Cool. So at the moment, we've got the stress control on glue mode. Let's see what the different stress is.
All right then.
So I've got it sort of maxed out at the moment.
Yep.
So that's glue stress.
When it's closer.
Yeah. Let's change the stress mode to something more smashy. So you know how that's much more distorted as a characteristic on the SSL.
What makes that distorted is when you put up the fast attack.
Exactly.
That's what that's doing. It does distort it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So let's try find a stress mode that sort of suits that. So I'll put it into left mode. Cool. So at the moment we're on glues, and then let's just get past all the clipping. Cool.
Yeah.
So it's not really right. Yeah, no, it's different. So let's try a different one. Nah.
That's quite good.
Yeah.
It's grabbing the bass drum like the SSL is.
Okay, cool. So that's
it's actually a bit bitier than the SSL at the moment. The SSL is sounding a bit more hollow. That's sounding a bit more solid. And I think it's because certainly on the bottom end of the snare, the brick lanes is letting that bottom end of that sort of frequency range through, and the SSL grabs everything in the middle. So that's pretty good. Do it again.
Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's getting pretty close already.
Yeah, it's really close.
So that's now max diode hardness.
Okay, that's good. That's more kind of having it and aggressive than the SSL, but it's still got that bottom end.
Yeah, let's
pumping a little bit. Maybe just knock off some of the threshold a bit, because we haven't got loads of compression on this. There you go. There you go. If I did oops.
Yeah, the snare's the same now, isn't
it? Yeah. It's great.
Identical.
Pretty much. But again, it's the bottom end that's different, which I like.
Cool, so let's see what else we've got to play with. I'm not sure, go between them again. I'm not sure the high end emphasis needs changing.
Yeah, I think you should.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
pink,
yeah.
the magenta.
Yeah, because the brick lanes, it's more detailed in its top end, and we kind of want to undetail it.
Okay.
And I think the thing about the SSLs is it blurs sounds.
Yes.
It's not accurate. It kind of like that's why they call it. It gels it together. It kind of blurs the lines between all the instruments.
Right.
And the brick lanes are really detailed, and we kind of want to make them blurry.
Okay, so let's take out some more detail. So high end emphasis. So now de-emphasizing.
That's better.
Yeah, it's doing the same thing on the hi-hat where it's just...
Exactly, the top end's the same.
Yeah.
You're right, the hi-hat is the annoying detail we don't want.
As always.
It is, yeah. We want it to be sort of smooth and invisible.
Cool.
And just a kick in the snare to work.
Okay, so now let's play around with this crossover phase shenanigans.
Right.
So that's gonna effectively keep everything aligned or change, the phase relationship in the low end as you're compressing. So let's go between the SSL and brick lanes and basically just find where it sounds closest or best.
Okay.
It's not that. Oh, hang on. Cool. So
Okay.
go again, just so I can do that. So it's on the SSL now.
Yep.
So that's one. Now, just try between them.
Well, we've only got one side. Oh yeah, okay. Oh, that's actually a lot closer.
Yeah, because now it's got rid of that kick.
It's got rid of that low end,
Yeah.
which the SSL naturally does, and which is actually, even though it's nice to be able to have the brick lane so it allows it through, it's much more classic sounding to kind of swamp it and sort of tuck in the bottom end a bit.
Yeah.
It makes it sound tighter,
Right.
That's really good.
How's the snare sounding the same?
Same. I mean, yeah. If I did a blind test, I couldn't. That's whatever we did on that brick lane to tame the bottom end is really good.
Cool. Perfect.
Because although it's nice to have it there, it is a thing that holds stuff together.
Yeah.
So
that's our Enigma sort of done and matched now. So let's just play a little bit of an earlier section just to make sure it's consistent. So now we've got a bit more.
Yeah. It's reacting slightly differently because it's less intense, this piece.
Yeah, I guess.
But really. Let's put it onto that first bit again.
Yeah.
Let's have a bit more threshold.
Yeah.
A bit lower on that. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, tonally, they're pretty much exactly the same.
There we go.
You've got an SSL in one of them, and it's the same, isn't it? It's amazing. Yeah. Wow. It's good.
What's the verdict then?
Well, I think that we've successfully managed to make the brick lane sound like the SSL compressor,
Yep,
which,
nailed it.
in my opinion, is the best compressor in the world for making music.
Right, yeah.
Not all sorts of music, but sort of pop, rock, heavyish kind of music. No, not jazz or anything really. But that's why this desk is like the best desk in the world, is because of those compressors.
Yeah.
And I haven't got any other outboard of compressors really,
No.
apart from the 1176, because I just don't need it because I've got the best ones. And now we've proved that the brick lanes sound identical to the SSL in whatever mode we set it in, whether it's fast attack or slow, because they're different ones. And again, the same with 1176. If you can make one compressor do both, then you just need loads of those.
And how much would you pay for, 1176, a vintage UREI 1176? Like how much would, well, let alone how much you would pay for one of these?
Well, I don't know how much you pay for the 1176.
But I can tell you Brick Lane
A few
500 is
thousand.
certainly cheaper.
Yeah. But I just think it's amazing that you can alter the tone and the timbre of that, and the actual the way it's so sort of versatile that you can just match two compressors.
Yeah.
And I think if I had one, I would just have my two settings that it would sound like that, because I'm pretty lazy when I mix. I kind of like I kind of usually don't tell anyone. But I tend to just set it how I want it, and I just feed in. I just feed in the threshold, and that's it. I rarely ever touch them unless I pull up for the fast attack. That's the only change, and so that's all I want. I don't need anything else.
Yeah.
And the same with 1176. It's always on the same settings. I just push in the input, and so if you've got those two settings on that, you've got both, and they do sound scarily identical, I think.
Yeah, I think we're quite shaking in it a little way, but it's awesome, really awesome.
Yeah, if I was mixing, I would want 4 of those. And I would just
cool.
have one over a stereo bus,
Yeah.
and the other 2 either over like sort of a music bus or a drum bus or some kind of group before it goes to the master fader.
Yeah.
And
then you've got the flexibility as well. Say, you know, it's not really working out 100% the way you want. You know, say for the SSL, you know, you wanted that kick to come through back a little bit. Then the brick lanes, you can do that. Whereas you can't change hands are tied with the SSL.
No, it's either on or off kind of thing, really.
Exactly.
Because if you lower the threshold on that, you don't get the excitement of it. So the fact that you can toggle that in with the brick lanes, you know, and your starting point is that, or 1176 or SM60 or whatever. If you can match that as your starting point and then edit it, it's brilliant, isn't it? It sounds the same, which is all we can really want, you know.
Yeah. I don't know what much more there is to say other than, I guess, thank you for watching.